So today we're going to be looking at the best players in each position. And to be doing this, we are going to be utilising a 4-3-3 formation just because it allows us to go with every single position, from left wing to centre mid to a CDM. As such, we're going to put them in that CDM role, into the cam, into the right wing. We may pick a couple on the bench as well, but going first, we are looking at goalkeepers. Now, it's quite an easy one with goalkeepers because you could just choose who you want. It really kind of doesn't matter at this point in the game. If you have got a 95, 96 goalkeeper and above, you are pretty doing it right. At the minute, I'm a big fan of Buffon. I think he's phenomenal. Konate is a little bit less in my opinion. I think Alisson would be the option. I think De Gea would be the option. And to be honest, I really do like a bit of Donnarumma. When it comes to keepers that I would like to see up there, Van der Sar would really like to get an upgrade for him. But other than that, maybe a Courtois. But at the moment, these are the four keepers that I personally would suggest. Buffon, because I have him, is the one that I'm using at the moment. We've only just managed to get him, but he's the one that I've kind of gone with, and he's done pretty well. Alisson has always had a standard nice card. De Gea has been fantastic in his team of the season, which definitely translates into a footies. And then Donnarumma obviously is Donnarumma. The fact his 6'5" works well in his favour. Most of them have got quadruple or obviously triple playstyle pluses, but most of them don't have anything. Like, we've finally got a 3 goalkeeper playstyle plus on De Gea and obviously Buffon as well. But realistically, it doesn't matter. The keeper itself is just there between the sticks, and if they pass round you, they passed round you. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. Then if we were to look at a right back, then this is where it gets a little bit more interesting because we've got a fair whack of players. Now obviously we're not just going to go and choose the 99s. I know the English women, all of them, Charles, Scott, Williamson, Stanway, all got 99, which is incredible. And they did manage to get a lot of 5 playstyle pluses, which does add to quite a lot. But when we do already have the Carlos Albertos of the world, Thuram, we have a bit of Zambrotta, and also a Maicon, we've got ourselves a very good contention of right backs. So if I was to pick the ones I personally would put in this top sort of zone, obviously João Neves is there in terms of spirit, but he's the centre mid more so than anything. And I think if you go further down, yes, I can't really shout about Evos on this point because obviously it would be here all day if we're trying to go with every single Evo. But realistically, I think they would be the options I would personally go for in my right back kind of check. Thuram has always been phenomenal, and I do think the 5 playstyle pluses is going to make a massive factor without the Evos at this point. Maicon and Kounde and Zambrotta with an Evo is going to be great. A 5 playstyle plus is going to be perfect. But to me, I do think the 5 playstyle plus, especially when we do look at someone like Thuram, is very good. I've actually been quite enjoying having the quick step on a right back. I don't know, it doesn't seem like it adds load, but it just adds that bit of pace that really works. Already having the anticipate, the slide tackle, the bruiser, and a bit of incisive works really well. Obviously with Alex Scott, the whipped pass is going to be a bit of a letdown in my opinion. I don't really need it, and I don't really play a wing back sort of scenario. So it is one playstyle plus that unfortunately is wasted on me. I do like the intercept and I do like the jockey as well. And then we kind of see Carlos Alberto with the same whipped pass. Does have the quick step, which is nice, but I think the whip pass is what's really killing it for me. When we do look at Kounde, I think they are a very good base playstyle pluses, obviously with a quick step as well. It seems like most people in that right back, other than the likes of Maicon, have that quick step or at least a rapid or something. But in terms of kind of what I'm going for in terms of right back, I'm personally a big fan of Thuram, and he's going to go there. Then we move on to left backs. Left backs, again, very much like right backs. It depends on who you want. Nuno Mendes is going to be the biggest shout there. Charles coming in with a 99. I mean, obviously Furlan Mendy's got to be one, and Alphonso Davies, but I mean, Smith and Foden, as much as they are very good in this role, I don't think they're left-back material, in my opinion anyway. So I do think the only one we are missing that would be great in an Evo would be the likes of a Theo Hernandez, but really that's going to be about it. So if I go into what I've got currently for him, I believe, is he still a... Where has he gone? There he is. So I've got him into this 93, but obviously I can get him up a little bit more, but he is due an upgrade with his new Saudi team at some point, so naturally that's going to be the case. Like I say, the fact that they are 98 is fantastic, but I don't think these two really are the left-back choosings. I think it's going to be out of these four if you haven't already got like a Theo Hernandez Evo. So I do think it's quite an easy one. I do like a bit of Mendy. I think he's absolutely brilliant. As we know, Mendy is one of the more favoured cards in the game from the get-go. Alphonso Davies, as much as I think his hype's definitely dried out a little bit, definitely a pacey left-back and someone who can play that almost full-back role that just goes bombing up for the left wing-back as well. I just don't think having the rapid technical jockey and long ball is really that suffice for a left back. So it's kind of one of them that I do think Mendy definitely outperforms him there. But then we did get the 99 Charles coming in with a quick step, technical, jockey, intercept and long ball. But my personal favourite is going to be Nuno Mendes. Quick step, anticipate, slide tackle, bruiser, and a bit of pinged pass. I mean, what's there not to like? Nuno Mendes is clearly the best left back in the game at this moment in time until this man gets his upgrade. Now when we look at centre backs, there is so many, like so many upgrades you can go with, and I do think obviously that the first position that's going to be on everybody's lips is going to be a Virgil van Dijk. I mean, you can easily put him in straight away. There's no arguing. He is a guaranteed card if you play this season. We're not too far away from him now, and he's going to be the best centre back in the game. There is no question. I don't care how good you are at the game. He is number one, 100% of the time. But number two in the game, there's a lot of options here. We obviously got the 99 Williamson, which we've got to put a bit of respect on the captain. We'll put her in there as a kind of dissection. Paredes, not quite 99, so we're going to drop her out a little bit. We do have then Rodri, who makes a very different opinion. Maldini, obviously. Bastoni, great option. We've obviously got Upamecano. We have got, I believe, the team of the season tar. I personally would drop him out still because definitely Saliba's got to be thrown in there. Yep, Stan's got to be thrown in there. And one of my favourites, I mean, Harry Maguire is in and amongst them. But one of my favourites right now, Van der Ven. Absolutely brilliant. So we've got a lot of centre backs. You can only have two, maybe three if you're playing that formation. But realistically, when we look through them, Williamson as a 99 is going to be phenomenal to make that 99 rated team. I don't think there's any question there. Great playstyle pluses, great stats across the board. It's exactly what you want in a centre back. Unbelievable defending, literally flawless physical, and then the pace to really work it down. So in terms of a card, she's fantastic. Now, whether you prefer somebody a little bit taller, 5'7" as a centre back, I mean, she can play right back as well, so the talent might not be wasted. You could easily put her as a right back if you really wanted to as well. Same with a bit of Rodri. Now, he can play left back, right back. I probably wouldn't, and he's a little bit taller at 6'3". Now, I've definitely kind of had a go with him before, and he can be a little bit blocky at times. He's not necessarily the most clean-cut centre-back that you've got. He definitely offers a solid amount, but I do think there is better centre-backs suited to the role. I don't think Shapeshifters was the greatest promo in the world. I definitely think we've had a better promo season when it comes to Shapeshifters, but there is some cards that worked really well. But when we do come to centre-backs, you've kind of got to look at the best of the best here. I've been really enjoying a bit of Van der Ven. The quick step, like I say, on a centre-back is just something different. I've never really bothered with it because we've never had that amount of playstyle pluses. Now, obviously, when we do look at Van der Ven, we look at Saliba, we look at Upamecano, they are going to need a fifth playstyle plus, which I do think is where Maldini really comes in. Yes, he doesn't have the quick step at the moment, but the block, the anticipate, the slide tackle, the bruiser, and a pinged pass, amongst all the stats that everybody has, is unfortunately going to put him into that second spot and be the best centre-back, or at least second best, in the game. Now then, we're looking at a CDM role. Now this is going to be specific. We're going one of each midfielder. So we've got a CDM, a centre mid, box to box, and also a cam. So if we are looking at this as kind of like your out and out defensive mid, I've already got somebody in mind. Put it in the comments if you think you can guess who that is. Now, obviously, when we do look at the likes of Stanway, we look at Patry, some incredible stats across the board. Obviously, the 5 playstyle pluses, the bit of jockey, the intercept, the anticipate, long ball, and pinged pass. I mean, it would be rude not to have her in mind. Patry as well, to be fair to her, very much more on the passing game, more so than Stanway. So I am going to leave her kind of away from this. She would definitely be more fixed into more of a box-to-box, in my opinion. Essien has always got to be put in the mix. I wasn't a big fan of Dybala, so unfortunately he's going to be thrown away. Petit will go in there. Obviously Matuidi would go in there. A bit of Tchouaméni and also a bit of Bruno. Now, it is a shame that Rodri hasn't got an upgrade yet. I can imagine he will see an upgrade soon. Lucio's obviously got to be thrown in, and I believe that would kind of be my contentions for CDM. Like I say, leave me down below if there's any extras you would like to see. Now, obviously Stanway is going to be one of the favourites as a 99 because none of them are 98 and above. So it's always an interesting shout to go with. I think in terms of stats, obviously she goes in the top. I mean, there's no question about it. But if I'm thinking of playing type, obviously Tchouaméni is going to be one that I've personally played with for a little bit longer. He's always been wanting a card upgrade. He's been not blessed with anything, really. I don't think he actually had anything of an upgrade. I know he's been in a few of the Evos, and I'm pretty sure he's had like 1 or 2 upgrades. He's had 2 upgrades. He did get the fantasy, obviously, as a centre-back, but then he did get the total rush at the start of the game, which was just a few upgrades, but was very expensive at the time. So, very good card in itself. I don't know if I'd quite go him to be the best. Bruno G, again, another one. Don't know if I'd quite say the best, but most definitely like a Tchouaméni. Due an upgrade, very nice card, and he will give you everything you need. Lucio, I think, is one of the real big contenders of this. Obviously coming in with the 4 playstyle pluses, pinged pass, long ball, intercept, and bruiser. I know a lot of people really like this card, but personally for me, other than kind of like your Essiens and your Petites, I think a little bit of Matuidi did win quite a lot in this. I do think Matuidi, in terms of what he gives you, is a fantastic player. He's one of my personal favourites, and I do think he would be the slot I would go for in a CDM. And I do think, to be honest, going next, I think Stanway is probably one of them that's there. Maybe after this week, if we don't get any more upgrades, she could be argued if Matuidi doesn't get any more of an upgrade, but she's very close to that next level. Now looking at box to boxes then. So a little bit more difficult on this one because obviously box to boxes are very questionable with what you want. We've obviously had Williams come in, a lot of more 99s, and it depends on what playstyle pluses you're looking at. In a box to box midfielder, what I personally would like, if I've got 5 playstyle pluses to kind of go with, I'd need a finesse shot or a low driven, just one of them. I'd like something like an anticipate, an intercept for the defensive, and then as many passing as possible. You could throw in and go 2 passing and a quick step or a rapid or a first touch, but realistically I like the balance of a centre mid. I don't necessarily want it to be too heavy defensive or too heavy on the attacking. Now obviously there's going to be a fair whack amount that you can go with. Obviously Job and Jude are going to be there, and quite a few of the kind of centre mids were in that shapeshifter, which I just didn't really like, to be honest. I don't think they had the best kind of stats in mind, to be honest. So I would go that, and then I would look at a bit of Matthias, even though he's kind of heavy on the defense. And then I would also look at the brother in question, just because he is a cam, but he's definitely a box-to-box. So my centre mids would be these. Farrah Williams obviously coming in because of the 99 more so than anything. I do think the power shot is a little bit outdated this year, but she does have some very good stats across the board. Let's be real, 99 on the shooting and passing. Stats-wise, to be honest, I mean, everybody is on that top level. So it's not as if she's the only one with 99 stats, or at least 2 of them, but she definitely holds it very well. Playstyle pluses are going to be a big factor in any of these games now, because role plus pluses, most players have got plus on everything, so it really really comes down to these these playstyle pluses. So obviously with Cantona, we got the intercept, the tiki-taka, the pinged pass, the incisive, and a technical. No shooting, which is what it is, but I mean, it's definitely an interesting way to go. Job, we've obviously got the press proven, the intercept, the long ball, pinged pass, and finesse. Very nice. For Vitinha, we've got the low driven, the pinged, the tiki-taka, and an anticipate with the ability to be given another one. That's always a big factor. Matthias obviously coming in with the 4. We've got power shot, incisive, intercept, anticipate. Would be nice to get maybe a finesse or a pinged in his final Evo. But you got to remember he's heavy on that defense, but he is a very good box-to-box at the same time. And then obviously with Jude, quick step, technical, first touch, incisive, and a bit of low. We don't have any defensive playstyle pluses, but we know he can work it. Whether you'd personally prefer Jude over Job there, or Job over Jude, it's a very interesting scenario to go with. Now, if I was taking all that into consideration and thinking my best centre mid, personally for me, in terms of somebody that can go forward, can play the defense, and does it all, it might be not necessarily the most popular opinion. I think Vitinha. He's been one of my favourite centre mids in the game. He most definitely is great on the ball, off the ball, and somebody that can strike the ball as well. Now, this is a position that is very difficult to get right. Cam has got a lot of 99s now. We have got Pele. We have got a bit of Cruyff. Musiala throws himself into the hat. Always love a bit of greasy baby. I mean, I would love to put a bit of Bruno in this, but realistically, I know he's not going to be in that top. And same with Saka. Like they could be due an upgrade. Obviously, Saka was a shapeshifter. Would love to see him as a right-wing footies at some point. I mean, you could argue a bit of Stoichkov, but realistically, there's only so many players that can really be put against a Pele or Cruyff. And realistically, that's probably enough to have the battle between them. Because really, as much as these cards are outstanding, you look at the likes of Gavi, the stats are obviously there for a lot of them. You've got some great attacking options, some dribbling, some passing, everything in the right zone. But realistically, it is the choice between a Cruyff and a Pele. I mean, it's quite an easy one to go with. Obviously, when we do look at each individual playstyle pluses, there's a few that do have that kind of rapid technical, which I'm just not necessarily a big fan of. Obviously, Rutter coming in as more of the free card. But if we do look at the difference between a Pele and a Cruyff, I mean, this goes down to preference because I think both of them are on that same sort of level that really are just on the top of the game. Now, I do think Pele has that almost that cheese look. It just works. I don't know why, it just completely works. Whereas Cruyff, the ability of him is just personally my personal favourite. I mean, there's very little to kind of decide between them, but I do think for me, Cruyff is one of my favourite cards in the game. Now then, this is the kind of positions that you kind of go with. We'll start with the right wing. I don't think there's many in right mid that you go with. Like, realistically, you're not going to choose Rodman over the talent that we have got. We've got Hansen. We've got a bit of Messi. I mean, he could have been considered a cam. We've got Yamal. We've got Garrincha. And then, I mean, I'd probably prefer Russo in the kind of striking role. You have got a bit of James, and you've got to throw in a bit of Maradona as well. Pedro Neto and Reece would probably just come out the kind of proceedings here. But when you've got 399s and 398s, I mean, there's a lot of talent already on display. Like I say, these are not the only positions. You could argue that Messi is better as the cam or as a striker. Hansen is better as the right wing, but Yamal is better as the left. That's fairs. I'm going for what position they are currently standing in. Now, obviously, the 98s, I think Maradona and also James are incredible cards in themselves. They offer a lot of stats that you can throw in there. Some good playstyle pluses, but realistically, when they're coming up against the 99 Yamal, Messi and Hansen, I don't think they could be argued in this. Garrincha, I think, definitely could, if it weren't for the fact he had the rapid technical. I think if he had another playstyle plus, like if he went for something like a Travella, first touch, press proven, even if he went for something passing and gone like a pinged pass, I've got the shooting playstyle pluses I need. I don't want to waste a rapid and technical. I don't utilise both. You might be different, so that's fair enough, but I personally don't. So he would be put to the side. I do think Hansen this year has been fantastic, but there's always an argument about her that I just don't think this year she's been as good as what she was last year. Last year she was undoubtedly one of the best right wings you could get. We haven't seen a Salah footage yet, so whether we see him as a 99 in the coming weeks, that will definitely shake up this list 100%. Now obviously when we do look at the likes of Messi and also Yamal, rapid trickster versus the rapid technical, we do have the finesse on both of them, and we have the tiki-taka on both of them, but it's the low driven versus the Trivela. Now, stats-wise, both of them are obviously up there with the best of them. Yamal definitely has the pace advantage and also the physicality, but everything else is kind of stayed the same. Messi has the 99 on the dribbling and also the max-out composure. Now, if it was me, Yamal has obviously got a bright future. I think he's going to be one of the best cards that you'll see for a long time in that right wing. But personal preference, it might be bias, it might be kind of just Messi in itself. I do prefer Messi in the game. And to be honest, there's not as if there's much in it. It's a preference thing. I could definitely see Yamal being the favourite for a lot of people, but Messi's stats and dribbling would definitely get me over the line. And I do think as well a big kind of factor with it is the fact that obviously you've got both of them as the left footer, so they're both playing that same sort of role. But Messi in himself is just a better card for myself. Now we're going to the left wing first, because striker, we're gonna pick two for striker, because obviously a lot of people will play with double up front or maybe has at least kind of two in a cam. Left wing, we have got quite a few nice cards again. We've obviously got Hemp coming in as the new card. We have Rafinha. We have Eusebio. We have a Vinny, which is an interesting one because obviously 98 rated. I really thought it'd be a 99. We'll throw in a bit of Jarvinho. And to be honest, I really do like Salma in the game. She has definitely been a better footballer thrown into the mix. Now, Hemp obviously coming in as the first 99 here, or at least for the women's team. Rafinha was a big one thrown in, but we have got the stats not necessarily as impressive as we've seen with others, but we do have some decent playstyle pluses. Finesse, incisive, bit of rapid, and a Trivela. Again, goes for my pet peeve with the technical. We have Eusebio with the 5 as well. Again, with the technical rapid, but we have incisive, low driven, and also a bit of finesse. We also then have Rafinha, again with some very good playstyle pluses. One of my personal favourites with finesse, incisive, first touch, quick step, and a bit of Trivela as well. Which then Vinny comes in with the technical quick step, the incisive and the low driven. So he's got one spot left that hopefully would be the finesse. Jarvinho coming in, as you see, with a 4. And then also Salma coming in with a 5. I kind of accepted the low driven finesse with the first touch quick step and then throw in the technical. She's most definitely a card to look out for, to be honest. Now, in terms of preference for me, I think there's a lot of right left wings that you can go with, and also even if you go into the striking role, these are not all the left wings, because you do look at the likes of a Ginola and Mbappe. You kind of go down to an Eto'o, a Beaver Jones. There is some strikers that can play the left wing as well, but I think for me, if I was going for an out and out left wing that I personally want, I do think that more than likely it would have to go to somebody that has got that right foot. And I do think in terms of having the finesse, Eusebio is going to be the one. If it was for the fact that Rafinha was right-footed, I would go with him there, but I do think Eusebio is going to have that little bit of an edge going forward with that finesse. Now we have the striker. This is possibly the hardest position that you can go with in terms of what you're actually going to choose, because to be honest, there is only a set amount of players that you're really going to choose here. You've got CR7, you've got R9, you've got Mbappe. Possibly from that, I could probably choose from them, to be honest. There is some outstanding strikers. Like, we look at someone like a Wilson. We look at a little bit up. We go, obviously, for the Eto'os of the world. To be honest, even Rio could throw his name in the hat prior to these upgrades, but right now we're looking at a Ginola, and then as you go further down, you've still got incredible talent. I'm not saying that they don't score, but when you do look at the top of the top, they are not going against an R9, an Mbappe, and a CR7. So just looking at them in general, some of the 4 playstyle plus can obviously get another. We've got the finesse and low driven, which I think is the most important value on a striker that's not in that top 3. But then you've kind of got a few that do have low driven, but that has the power shot instead. And then we do have a lot that will have everything. But in terms of kind of who you're going with, in terms of my personal favourite in this game, and I think the playstyle pluses speak volumes, it's going to be CR7. And as much as R9 and Mbappe are incredible, the playstyle pluses here, finesse, tick. Chip shot is a tick, like sometimes you get keepers that come out, but low driven is a tick, rapid is a tick, and an aerial. I mean, in terms of what you get from CR7, he has every attribute that you personally would want. So he is a no-brainer. If I was to pick a number 2 between them, you've obviously got Mbappe versus R9, and I do think they ruined Mbappe not giving him that finesse. They've given him the technical quick step, the incisive, the low driven, but they didn't give him the finesse. And he's got 5 playstyle pluses, so there's no chance of an upgrade. R9, on the other hand, has got both. So for me, R9 would go in my number 2, and Mbappe, unless you're going for something like I've personally got an Evo at the moment, I would recommend that. But I would have had to have done that from the start, because obviously when you do look at my Mbappe now, he's got himself the finesse, the low driven and the quick step, and I'm going to put him in the beast upgrade, which gives him the aerial as well. That is personally my favourite, and he would be a 97 as well. So having the finesse, low driven on this version is going to be way better, and as you can see, it's been from the base card as well. That for me would be better than the footies card that we did get. And that is going to be everybody. Let me know down below if you've got any changes you'd make. But apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.